Welcome to Augustenborg Yacht Yard in February, the dead of winter. Outside it's snowing hard. Ros and I have just driven over from where we're staying on the other side of this Danish island, and the roads are covered in snow. There's a few tyre tracks and the Danes are out there driving around in their cars on their winter tyres. Half of them are going to the supermarket. I don't suppose many of them are going to church, but I can tell you one thing, none of them are coming here, because we are in the Scandinavian answer to winter. We're in a heated shed, a hall they call it, and it's a massive great hall. It's colossal. I counted the boats in here the other day. There's something pushing 40 boats, and we're all jammed in here, and we're all bone dry. We got no worries. This is the answer to what to do with your boat in the winter. I just can't believe why I've never tried this before. Every winter my boat sits alongside a dock in a beautiful place. It's in Bewley usually, and I love it. But it wouldn't matter where it was in Britain, the same things would apply. I'd be going down to the boat in the spring to get ready to go sailing, and she'd be all green, the varnish would be shot to pieces, everything's damp, the cushions are damp, and it's just not nice really, and the boat doesn't like it. And if you pull her out and put her on the hard, you're out there in all the weather. Same things apply really, all the ropes go green, and in here it's like being in a temple. Even my voice sounds like something in a studio, because this hall is so heavily insulated, nothing gets in. It's astonishing, and it's absolutely spotlessly clean. I dropped my sandwich on the floor yesterday. It's a concrete floor, and I looked at it, I picked it up and I ate it, because it is so clean and so dry. I put a new chimney on the boat yesterday. I'm very proud of this chimney, because some of the people who watch this will know that I have a coal fire down below, which keeps me warm in the winter when I'm sailing. And of course I'm not sailing here this winter, but in Scandinavia in the summer sometimes you get nasty damp cool days. Light the fire and away it goes, lovely. Well, I had a bit of a crummy old chimney on there. I was never very satisfied with it, and we got all these beautiful chromed dorade vents, because the boat was originally built for warm weather. She's an American boat, and she's got big hatches, lots of dorade vents to help the ventilation. But we modified one of the dorade vents and turned it into a chimney. Now then, this chimney is brand new. It's just been made for me by Lasercell, who are outside Salisbury, where I live in Wiltshire. I didn't go to the guys down on the waterfront and ask the stainless steel merchants there to make me a chimney, because this is a custom-made thing. It's quite heavy, and it would have cost an arm and a leg. But up in the countryside, the guys have made that out of 316 stainless for a sensible price, quickly, on time and on budget. And I've just fitted it, and I'm chuffed as nuts. Doesn't it look good? Sits inside the granny bar there. When the mast's up, you hardly see it, but if you do see it, it's a fine-looking thing. So what else have we got to do? Well, we've got all the usual winter jobs. Back home, if you get a decent weekend, Ros and I will toddle down with our bits and pieces, and we'll do what jobs we can, but they're mostly down below, because really in the damp and the cold there's not much you can do on deck. But here, in this amazing place, we're actually varnishing. It's February, it's snowing outside, and Ros is varnishing the hatches. And you know what it's like when you're varnishing? Wherever you are, it's always either too windy, or the guy on the next boat's doing something and there's a load of dust blowing over, or you're looking at the sky wondering if it's going to go off before it rains. There's always something. Well, in here, there's absolutely nothing. It's like the place God made to do your varnish. It'd be nice if it was a little bit warmer, but it's 12 degrees, and that's enough. The varnish is going off all right. We did these. These had 2 coats yesterday, and they're lovely this morning, and quick rub, and they'll get another couple today, and then they're done. My jobs are a bit more mundane, I'm afraid. I've got to do the seacocks today. Not much joy in that, there never is, but at least everything's warm and dry, and I'm not staggering around in dirty old gravel. I worked on my mast yesterday. The perennial problem of how to fly a burgee from a metal mast with a load of stuff at the masthead. Well, because everything was so dry and nice, and because we're in the shed, you have to have the mast out every year. That comes out, by the way, that's all part of the deal. You know, the total cost of all this is really no more than lying alongside in a marina in Britain, or probably even on a winter deal. It's all very affordable. Scandinavians are very sensible like this. The place has a reputation of being expensive, all the countries. Well, Norway is expensive. Sweden isn't bad at all, really. I reckon across the board it feels like it's about 10% more than Britain. Denmark a little bit more than that, but it's not ruinously expensive. But the sailing, the seafaring, they understand about that. These are Viking people. These are people who've lived and died by the sea, and the cost of boating is not very high. Berthing when you're cruising is less than half of what you'd pay at home. It's great. And tying up for the winter, putting her in a place like this, is a lot less than you'd think. And they're getting this right, aren't they? This is the best thing you can do with your boat for the winter. The very best. And if you did it in England, it would cost a fortune. I don't know why that is. We really need to sort this out back home. We need to get wonderful places like this where we can put our boats and they'll be looked after, and we'll have no worries about them. When it blows 40 knots outside, which incidentally it's doing today, the snow is going horizontally outside that roof, you've got no worries. I lie awake at night and I'm absolutely happy when I hear the wind blowing, because I don't care. And well, just to finish up, I'll just tell you how my day's going to end. When we finished our work today, 4 o'clock, the light goes. All the light that's flooding through these windows will be dead, really. 4:30, it's all over. We'll be left with the strip lighting, and that's not so good for working by. So we'll go home. And home is a little cottage that we've rented. It's an old farmhouse down by the sea, about 20 miles from here. It's got a lovely thick thatched roof that keeps the cold out. It's beautifully insulated, everything's double glazed, but it looks like it's looked for the last 200 years. And inside, it's got proper wooden floor, and all the furniture is old traditional furniture, and it's all been hand painted. It's the most beautiful thing, and the texture of the paint, the detail that these people look into is so worth doing. Our bed is a lovely box in the corner of the room, and it's big and it's comfortable, and when we sit up in bed we can see through the window down to the Baltic Sea, and the whole thing is heated by this massive great wood stove in the corner. And we go in, we chuck a firelighter in, bung a few logs after it, and open the bottom, and within 10 minutes you can hear it roaring. The whole thing's practically shaking on its foundations. It's pumping out so much heat and working so hard. Bung in a few more logs, and within an hour the room is absolutely toasty, and we're sitting there in our shirt sleeves with the snow coming down outside. It's a great thing to have a proper winter, and it's a great thing too to have your boat right out of it. Well, that's it, I think. I'd better go and tackle the seacocks now, and I know Ros wants to get on with the varnish, so I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.